everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be about popular book series that I have yet to finish. So you know how some series you can't even wait in between books, you have to have the next one right away, and then other ones you just read the first one and you're like, yeah, I'm never touching that again. And then these are kind of like in between. Like, I feel like I kind of want to continue maybe one day, kind of, but some of these it's been a while and I've yet to continue. So this is the type of video where you can feel free to tell me in the comment section, you know, just give me the kick in the butt that I need to finish them if they're like your favorite series and you think I would enjoy them. But yeah, they're just series I'm a little lukewarm about, I guess. There are some that I've talked about a lot, so I will like talk quickly about them, and then some of these you might not even know that I've read the first book because it was like in 2016 when I first started this channel, and I do get a lot of comments asking me if I've read these. So let me actually start with one of them that is constantly in my comment section. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This I compare to Hunger Games and Game of Thrones, kinda all in one, on Mars. And I have to say, I have kind of complicated relationship with it. It's one of the first books that I've read when I started this channel, and I feel like my ratings were much higher than they would be today. And this I ended up giving 3.75, so it's already not high considering how I used to rate my books. To be honest, I feel like I didn't really like the beginning, then it got better, then it got really long and stretched out, again in my opinion. So I wasn't like dying to continue, and I think this is considered adult fantasy. In my opinion, it's more like YA, probably, kind of. It's one of those like in between, I guess, that people can fight over. So I have been meaning to continue the series. I do have book 2 right here actually, and I have book 3 over there because I found them like used, but I've yet to continue. Everyone says that this is like literally the best thing ever, and I do want to continue, but again, I've yet to do it. But this is one of those in here that I'm like the most sure I will continue. Obviously I own the next 2, right? But it's been 3 years now. I need to actually do it eventually. Another one that has been a while and I really should actually pick up is Still Heart by Brandon Sanderson. The second book is there, and I have the third one just on top. This is a YA sci-fi trilogy, and as always, it's Brandon Sanderson, so the universe, world building, and like magic system is super intriguing. In this case, it's like people start developing magical abilities, but instead of becoming superheroes, they become supervillains, and it's very interesting. My main issue is that it is YA, and the main teenager male character here is so freaking cringy. There was like a romance / love interest, and it was just incredibly cringy. And I get that it's like kind of on purpose at points, but like I just couldn't deal. And it was really bringing the book down. And I did actually read a novella between this one and book 2, and I still enjoyed it. I feel like he's really good at ending his books. It's always like on a big boom. And yeah, I still haven't picked it up. Actually, I don't know, when did I read this? 2016 or 17? And I still have yet to continue. I've read so many of his other books since, and I will continue to do so. But this one, I just can't force myself to do it. I will, I know I will. I own the books, and I enjoy usually all of his books. But damn, the romance / love interest, and the fact that he invented 3 different like swear words, and I swear, I wish I had put post-its. Some pages is literally like 10 of them in a row, and I was going cuckoo. So those are my main 2 issues, I guess. But yeah, does it get better? Let me know. The next one is a book that I enjoyed it more than I probably would if I were to reread it. You know, sometimes you read a book and you're just like in a good mood, or you're just like not currently being annoyed by those tropes, so you don't really realize it, and you're just like, I understand why other people would hate it, I understand why people would love it. I'm kind of in between. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I thought it was okay. Like, yes, it's absolutely another dystopian book, YA book, where there's like the villains and the good people. It's like the silver blood and the red blood. And yeah, it's cliche, but I thought the magic system was interesting, and I didn't really have any big issues with it. So I think I gave it something like 3.75, 4 stars, which is kind of high for me for a book like that. But it was just, you know, I was at the right time. I read it at the right time. Let's just say that. And I have the next book on my shelf. It's just that I think I'm scared that by reading the second book, I'm gonna like ruin my memory of this one. because I feel like maybe the rest of the series is not worth it, even though this was okay, you know what I mean? Let me know again in the comment section. I feel like I've seen a lot of bad reviews for like the rest of the series and for this one too, but I thought it was fine. I'm just scared I'm gonna change my mind. Let me go through a couple that I've talked about just kind of quickly to get them out of the way. The Raven Boys. This is the first book in this quartlet. There are 4 books, and I'm totally planning on continuing it because one of my friends has all of them. She's gonna gift them to me, and I might do a reading vlog. Basically, I just want to know if they're worth the hype. And I know I've been warned that this is magical realism, and I'm usually not a fan of magical realism, although there are a few exceptions, as always. But I kind of just want to see what the hype is all about. And I know it's character driven, and I'm usually more of a plot person, but it's usually because I think some of the characters are not well written, so I just don't care. I did like, what's his name? It starts with an R. Ronan? That kid. I thought this kid was likable, and I was getting attached, and I know that it is more about him in the second book or something, so I do want to continue and see what it is all about, but I'm scared once again that I won't like the rest. I don't want it, like, I know that like I'm known for having unpopular opinions, but at the same time I don't want to. Like, I also, not that I'm afraid of like offending anyone, it's more like I also want to enjoy the book, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not reading books hoping I'm gonna hate them, at least not usually. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious, slash for once I know someone that has read a series in real life and I can actually talk about it. And it is so popular. I want to know. I want to love you too, you know what I mean? This one I'm talking about it super quickly. Throne of Glass, Sarah J. Maas. I did a whole reading vlog. I have been bashing this left and right, but basically a lot of telling, not a lot of showing. And I still want to know if it's gonna get better, because I swear like half the comments are telling me that it gets so much better, and I still kind of want to know. And it's also a book series that my friend has all of them, and I just want to know. Like, I want to satisfy my curiosity, so I might do a reading vlog for book 2 just to satisfy everyone's curiosity, including mine, and then satisfy everyone that wants me to bash it or be surprised and love it. But yeah, but I still kind of want to finish it, you know what I mean? Next one would be volume 2 of the Raria Revelations, the first book being Theft of Swartz by Michael J. Sullivan. This is like a 2-in-1 edition. I think the whole series is like that, and I've yet to continue because I read this last year, part of like my big book reading challenge, and it was one of my least favorite book that I've read, but it wasn't like a bad book. I think I gave it 3.5 stars too, which is like perfectly average. My main issue was that there's a huge difference in quality between book 1 and book 2, book 1 being and book 2 being okay. I think that the fact that half the female characters in the first book are prostitutes, because it seems to be a thing. Have you not noticed in like adult, but really why, fantasy books written by men, like especially older ones, most female characters are prostitutes, or there's like a bunch of them for like no reason. Like, I understand like it's a thing and fantasy world would have some too, whatever, but like I never read about prostitutes in any of the book written by women, or so rarely. I don't know why. Anyway, it's just something I've noticed. And yeah, it's just okay. Like, it's a classic fantasy. There was some potential, and you see already the story growing so much between book 1 and book 2 that I'm kind of curious still to see how it's gonna go, because again, amazing reviews, but I just feel like it might be one of those where the target might be more male readers that aren't taking out of a story because of things that annoy me like that. So I kind of still want to read it. I'm pretty sure I got book 2, but it's been a year and a half. I've yet to continue. I have it on my shelf. Should I continue? I kind of want to. Super quickly, The Dark Tower, Stephen King. I hated this, and I have book 2 and 3 on my shelves. Everyone tell me that it gets so much better. I don't know. I have yet to continue. It's been a few years too, and this totally made me not want to continue, but the rave reviews are kind of making me want to, so. The Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. I read Cinder. I started book 2 and I never finished it, and I have all 4 books. It's one of those books, it's a YA fantasy. Is it fantasy? Like, it's a retelling of all those like Disney princesses things. This one being Cinderella, but like Android version type of thing. And it's one of those books that they're thick. They're like, I don't know, this one is what, 300 something pages? Almost 400 pages, but Like, there's huge space between the sentences, the words are pretty big, and there's so much fluff and filler. Like, when you're actually looking at the storyline, there's literally nothing, like, compared to any other YA books I can find you. There's just so much filler and fluff. And it kind of left me feeling, like, when I was done with it, I was like, oh, okay. But then I'm kind of like, there's so not much happening that I couldn't necessarily continue. I still want to because, again, everyone raves about it and I just want to satisfy my own curiosity. I know that, like, I shouldn't always fall for the hype and everything, but so many books I have discovered and loved after hearing everyone rave about it, so that's kind of why I continue to do so. Obviously, I am still human. Still want to also love all the books, and it's one of those where I'm like, maybe one day I have them on my shelf. I should, but it's been 3 years and I have yet to continue. I mean, 3 years doesn't sound that bad, I guess, but like, I read over 100 books a year and I've yet to pick these ones, you know? Another one that I want to read just because I want to get it. I really, really, really do badly want to get it. And the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare, which I know I probably will not like it. I get it. But at the same time, I'm curious. I want to know. I want to get it. I want to also be all hyped about it. And I read the first 2 books. I read the beginning of the 3rd book and put it down, and I'm just really frustrated by, one, the twist of the first book that wasn't resolved in book 2, which, honestly, this is the cringiest twist ever. Again, I will never spoil it to anyone, but, like, cringiest twist ever. And it's one of those, again, that, like, the books are so thick. Like, this one has almost 500 pages. And again, huge space in between each sentence and so much fluff. And it's going to be unpopular with people that love the series, but in my opinion, there's not a lot of world building, which I know people are going to be like, oh, there's a ton, there's a... No. I feel like, again, it's kind of vague and possibly gets better. I mean, there are like 9 books in total. Actually, there are like over 10 now. But like, I just feel like it's so vague and I don't know, I'm not feeling it. And I don't seem to care about the characters too much. I hated the forced love triangles. And yeah, I'm kind of just like, I want to get it. I do think there's potential, which is obviously why I read 2 books and a little bit more of the 3rd one. And I do own all of them because of the hype. And everyone was telling me to go through the first 3 so I could get to the other Dark Artifice trilogy. And I still want to, badly. But it's also some of the first books that I've read when I started this channel. So 3 years ago. And I have yet to continue. By the way, I know there's a lot of YA books here, but I think it's because a lot of the adult books that I read are either standalone or they're series that I have actually completed. So it's not like me hating on YA books. The next one is considered adult, but I'm putting it in YA, so... The Black Prism. Brad Brain Weeks. I have a very complicated relationship with this book. I have talked about it in length about all the issues that I have, and it's one of those books that always seem to offend people on the internet, and by people I do mean guys. My issue is that, first off, like I was saying, I consider this YA, not adult. It seems to be the audience that is targeted, and also the fact that the magic system is interesting, yet very badly explained and super vague. The beginning, the first 100 pages are painful. And even throughout, the whole magic system is kind of weird. I do like the like kind of school setting that there is in there. I am intrigued by the kind of mystery that there is in there, like the little twist at the end. But I had so many issues with sexism, and I'm explaining it again, but there's a huge difference between a world or character that is sexist and an author being sexist. And here it's the author 1000%. I mean, isn't he the author that literally said that he couldn't understand women? We know. We know. We can see it. So every time that there would be those instances of sexism, it would just take me out of story. And eventually you're just kind of giving up because even though there is potential, there's like other issues with the writing that it just becomes like a little pointless. It feels a bit pointless. And as much as I enjoyed the magic system and again, the school setting and everything, and I do want to figure out what's going to happen, I have yet to pick up the next 2 books that I do have on my shelf because I'm frustrated There are so many other amazing fantasy series that I would not have those issues with, so why waste my time, especially because it's a big book. But I still kind of want to go through it because, again, I want to love it. And I guess it gives me the opportunity to also mention my issues with it, which sounds like, why are you going through the book if you hate it? Again, if I 100% hated it, I wouldn't read book 2. But this one I'm definitely planning on continuing. But I would also take the time to discuss my issues just because I feel like it's something that is sometimes lacking on BookTube. Well, that's not true. There's definitely some people that do mention, but like I feel like sometimes it becomes a bit, I love this, I hate this, and that's it. I like having all the details, you know what I mean? Give me all the receipts. Even if it has to go to the extreme of me having post-its and putting one every single time that they mention boobs just to show you visually, look, this is all about the boobs of all the female characters. It could be an interesting way to just talk about sexism in books and how it can be an issue and how it can be handled. And yeah, I just feel like it's something that is sometimes lacking, and I think it's important to talk about it, and it's interesting to actually help people see the difference between sexist world and character versus author. And yeah, that's kind of why I have yet to pick up book 2, even though, again, if you put a magical school setting, I will want to read the book. Actually, if you have any recommendations, please let me know, because they're like my number one pretty much premise actually that I read. But yeah, I just get frustrated with a lot of adult popular fantasy books. I just feel like they always have that issue. And it's not to say that there's no issue with female authors. That's usually more in like romance books. I don't read romance. So yeah, I just think it's important to talk about it basically. So yeah. So those are all popular book series that I have yet to finish. Some of them I'm still definitely planning on it. It's just that it's been a while. Some of them a little bit more hesitant. So again, feel free to comment and let me know. Don't waste your time. It's crap. Or dude, like get off your butt, actually start reading it ASAP. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe because you definitely don't want to miss any future ones. And I will be putting some on the screen that I recommend you check out. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.